Uh, Jeffrey Dower Montgomery, High Up Repeat POW, 2984 Myra Street, Apartment 4, Jacksonville, Florida, 32205. It's Monday, April the 18th, and what this video is about is I'd like to invite the public to take an interest in appearances made by paramedics and police, which they have been putting fixes on me and winding up appearing on people that live nearby. So it's as I've described it as being like Russian roulette, which I'm really not in need of something to correspond with an increase in suspense, sexual suspense, something like that. So let's see. So there was an occasion not that long ago when a paramedic clicked onto me just as I was throwing a kick, and which it was a long streamy sound effect that was muffled, came to a muffled end, a muffled like end. So I had only thrown a few Hapkido kicks in our backyard, so it's very disturbing how dishonest paramedics are here, and police are, and believe me, I do not want to find myself in the hands of someone like that. So on that occasion, they wound up next door, and I had stepped out on the front porch, and some paramedic named Hodges said, "Hi, buddy." So it was just, considering how often I've been treated like a child, it was just really terrifying. So, and there was another occasion after, I don't know how many times someone's put a fix on me when I've been affectionate with my cat, my stray cat. Someone clicked on to me when I was over in the corner of my room facing our cat's litter box, and winded up down at the apartment downstairs, one of the apartments downstairs, where someone has been audible or in sex acts underneath my son's room, which that was something I complained about. I placed calls to television stations to complain about years ago. Now, when I've been sexually active or starting to get somewhere, come closer to being in orgies, they decide to come over here and pick him up. So, so they're using what they're doing with people that live in this apartment building to offer themselves something to make it appealing to the public with, that I'm doing something that it's looking like there's going to be a need to do something like what they've done with them with me. So, then there was that occasion someone clicked onto me and it was like in resemblance to finally having enough to go on, or letting something go on long enough, and then turning off, streaming down the street our street is off of, and then down our street, and winding up at the apartment downstairs. So, which also there was something suggestive about it, because I noticed on the stretcher that there was a container of gas. So I think was more help being offered with the appealingness of the suggestion being placed recently that something a little Nazi-like has been noticed about me. So when I was forced into standing before a judge, the judge had said sniffing around in the courtroom. There had been occasions cops and paramedics had fixed on me when I was cleaning the cat's litter box. So stuff like that, So I just, as I've said, I do not like it here. I do not want to. It's scary here, and just a lot of deeply shitty cops and paramedics here that keep coming back up with something to strike terror in me with. Have spent years constantly steering the public in on me, or as having shown little indications of bringing myself closer to losing restraint over myself sexually, or coming close to snapping in anger over the way I'm being treated in here. So, or like I'm showing signs of nervousness over considering something, making, something dementedly sexually substitutional, like putting myself onto my severely retarded wife or trying to get sex acts out of her. So, then there was that occasion that happened. Which is someone has fixed in on my flatulence and has come back to fixing in on me when I've been on a toilet. So I would like to have it known that I haven't been farting around at cam-to-cam sites with porn stars, or have winded up in something startlingly out of the ordinary. Okay, and then there was an occasion just a few days ago when cops and paramedics, two fire trucks, 2 cop cars, and an ambulance swept in here when I stepped out on our front porch in a pair of homemade flip-flops that my severely retarded wife referred to as like duck feet. So or as something to make it very appealing with, that someone would have a right to alter something of mine or force me into, or find a substitute for something I have that I'm getting myself where I might set myself off on her. I'm referring to my severely retarded wife. So it's really strange, It's just I think someone had come in on me when she made that remark about my flip-flops. So it's a way of using her to torture me in fear over them taking off on me over something like that she says, or letting me in on it, that they have had a bang using her to constantly use sound effects to lie about me with, to torture me. So, that's what I'm trying to accomplish, is to get the public involved in this and find out who it is that's been using her to click onto me, and has sometimes 3-4 times a day. And I'm not kidding you all. It's went on for something like 15 years. They just constantly use her to play parts with. So, by the time they wind up over here over the way she's acted or treated me, they really have something good to bringing it into looking like I've cracked over unexpected appearances by police and paramedics. So it is making it look like I make something distressing out of little or nothing, with her. It isn't at all like that. I mean, they're constantly endorsing it on the way she treats me like a child. And I've been informed by people in Charlotte that they're also, when that's taking place on a lot of occasions, they're winding up on their way over here. So, so that's happened, and I'd like to bring the public in on, wait a minute, not bring the. I'd like please find out who they are. These cops that keep winding up back over here. Really is revengeful. I was out in public yesterday evening, and three fire trucks swept past me, and the last one had a white roof on it. So they're very enthusiastic over constipating your mind up with thoughts. I mean, it seems that really seems to be what it or using something to make a big deal out of something with. So and something using indications and something as something masturbatory, you know. Um, uh, to stroke myself with. I don't know. It seems to be like something like that. Someone's been putting up, just kept clicking onto me the other day. I finally placed a phone call to Channel 47 and said, "Oh my God, please let MIT know and U.S. Customs that someone is over here," and he just is repeatedly clicking onto me. And what's sick about it is they wait until I'm involved in sex acts or like a that would be establishing, that you would establish it by that someone's sexually trustworthy or sexually safe, and then they start really going at it with making it look like I'm losing a handle on myself. It's really, torturous. So, which I would like very much to be in a sex act, a cam-to-cam site sex acts, and then have it lead into real sex acts. Instead of my cam-to-cam sex acts being turned into something to depict me as someone that needs something substitutional for real sex acts. So, and I've noticed that there's a pattern to it. Usually that someone is on my ass after something particularly sexually captivating, or what would most likely result in a real sex act, that someone keeps coming back over here and making banana split sounds near our apartment, and or picking something out with comic appeal that I'm getting myself all charged up. I'm referring to the 3 fire trucks that swept past me when I was out in public, making a reference to it, that they're giving it the green on me over here. I'm inviting the public to find out who was in those 3 fire trucks that swept by me, and have them considered for picking something out to make it extremely appealing to the public with that something unanimous, to make getting channeling up a concentrated strain of sexual craving or sexual arousal over much more like it sex acts. So I had water on the brain for 49 years. So and they develop this thing. They'll have someone sticking on to me, and then they'll provide resemblances or develop it into looking like something I'm doing is developing into something that I need to be stalked in. You know, it's just they're really sick. You know, some real sickos here are people that are just driven by hatred. You know, or lethally revengeful. Is repeatedly lethally revengeful. It amazes me that they can get by with how they can get by with it, and it's for that reason that I'm placing a lot of calls over it, and they get themselves charged up with what they've been able to get away with me. Sometimes 3-4 times a day for 15 years. They're pretty charged up over it. And there's no let up in it. Even if I place phone calls or try to have it relayed to Mitt Romney and U.S. Customs, they do not slow down in it. That's pretty scary, you know. I don't like someone with the fire department or police department always letting me in on it that they're watching me in sex acts. That happened again last night. And I don't know how many times they've led on to it that they're spying on me in sex acts. I think one of these guys that did that with me when I was in a sex act last night was on the interstate. So, and it seems like they're always coming back with something that would serve as a good rationalization for spying on me in sex acts. So, I guess that's just. I guess what I'd like to say is just invite you all to take an interest in who keeps reappearing over here and get involved in it. If you see police or paramedics at my door, you know, if you see them stopping me from drawing attention to myself with my Mitt Help signs, or you know, just please get interested in it. Try to find out what's going on, because I let me finish up with this before starts to resemble someone opening up to a shrink. You know? Hey, okay, so the Jeffrey Dahmer Montgomery, let's see, it's 4:53 a.m. Monday, April the 18th.